Assalamualaikum everyone. I am your friend. I am Brother Jose Arnold L. Alferez, or you can call me Sergio Ars. I am a member of the Order of the Discalced Carmelite Secular. Then presently I am the program head of Peace and Development, the graduate school in our university, the Cotabato State University. So I'd like to share with you this presentation regarding the ecology and environmental protection as your module 1 part of the general subject in your course, the Public Safety Officers Candidate course. So once again, mayong hapon, mayong buntag o hapon kaninyong tanan, mga mama at saka mga sir. So let's move on. So let us unlock the term. And I think in your college you already know what is ecology. So ecology is the study of the relationships between living organisms, including human beings, and their physical environment. It seeks to understand the vital connection between plants and animals and the world around them. So that's ecology. What about the etymological meaning of this word ecology? So ecology comes from the Greek word oikos, which is literally means household. Then you know oikos and logos, logi meaning logos, the study of. So literally the ecology, the etymological meaning is the study of the house or the environment which we live. So that's all about ecology, the study of the house or the environment in which we live. So in the environment, that includes us, the human being, not only plants and animals, but the human being. So now you know the etymological meaning, the origin of the word ecology. So once again, oikos and logos literally means the study of house or the environment in which we live. Then, the study of interactions that take place between organisms in the environment, that's all about ecology as what we had mentioned in the previous slide. Then it explains how living organisms affect each other and the world they live in. So yun, our relationship to other organisms, the plants, the animals, of course, as well as to the human. So another term, we have the habitat and the niche. When I talk about habitat, this is the place a plant or an animal lives. So yun yung alam natin, alam niyo yung habitat. Then what about the niche? This is an organism's total way of life. So yun yung niche. So that's the term. Then if ecology is the study of interactions between the living and the non-living, there are components of the non-living in the environment. Ano-ano yon? Take note, the light, the water, the wind, the nutrients in the soil, the heat, the solar radiation, the atmosphere, and others. So that's the non-living components in the environment. Then, we have also the so-called the living organisms. So the non-living and the living organisms. So that includes plants, the animals, and of course human being and other microorganisms in the soil and others. So now you know the living as well as the non-living. So what about the non-living environment? Kung makita mo yung drawing, nandyan ay yung kidlat dyan. There we have the so-called abiotic factors. When you talk about abiotic, this is the non-living parts of the of an organism's environment. So take note ha, the abiotic factor, the non-living parts of the organism's environment. An example of this, the air, the currents, temperature, moisture, the light, and the soil. So kaya yun, nandyan yun. Tingnan nyo, yan. Lighting. So that's an example of abiotic. So the non-living parts of organisms environment. Then, the abiotic factors affects the organism's life. Of course, lahat yan. Naka-apekto din yan sa ating buhay. Then, we have the living environment, which is the biotic factors. All the living organisms that inhabit an environment is the biotic factors. So, kanina abiotic, ngayon naman the biotic factors. So, all organisms depend on the others directly or indirectly for food, shelter, reproduction, or protection. So, this is just a sort of review in our in your course when you were still in college. Okay? The biotic as well as the abiotic in an environment. So now, a short exercise. Pag makita nyo itong fish na yan, ano yan? Piranha? Is it biotic or abiotic? What do you think? So that is the biotic. Okay, pag makita that's biotic. Then what about this? The wind? Ipo-ipo? Is it a biotic or biotic? What do you think? So this is just a sort of exercise. Sabi natin kaya that's a biotic. What about this? Abiotic or biotic? Of course, that's a biotic. Dahil yan, klaro, may sumibol. Ano yan? The living, which is biotic. So now, when we talk about ecology, there are also levels of organization. So take note of this. In an ecology, there are also levels of organization. So what about the levels? This is a hierarchy of organization in the environment. When we talk about the levels of ecology, hierarchy of organization. So according to ecologists, have organized the interactions an organism takes part in a different levels according to its complexity. Take note of this. Oh, tingnan. Mga corals, iba't iba. That's according to ecologists. Now, the first level of organization. Pag makita niyo yung drawing, what is the first level of organization? We call it as organism. Take note, organism. Nag-iisa lang ito, an individual living thing that is made of cells, uses energy, reproduces, responds, grows, and develops like this animal. Anong tawag ito sa animal na ito? It's like a horse? Zebra ba ito? Alam nyo ito. So, that's an organism. That's the first level organism. So, do not forget on that. Take note that organism. An individual living thing that is made of cells, uses energy, reproduces, and responds, grows, and develops. The second level is the so-called population. A group of organisms, all of the same species, which interbreed and live in the same place at the same time. Kanina sa organism, isa lang. Ngayon, the same species, marami na. A group of organisms na ito, this is the second level of organization when we talk about ecology. Take note ha, a group of organisms. Kanina, nag-iisa lang. Ngayon, group of organisms with the same species which interbreed and live in the same place at the same time. And I think malinaw yan sa atin. The third level is, take note, biological community. So, kanina sa organism, nag-iisa. Then, ang population, the same species. Ito naman, biological community. If you look at this drawing, different kinds of animals. Kaya nga, a biological community, all the populations of the different species that live in the same place at the same time. Kita ninyo? Kanina, the same. Ito naman, different species. This is the so-called biological community. That's the third level of ecology. The fourth level of ecology is the so-called ecosystem. Ecosystem. Take note on this ecosystem. Population of plants and animals, of course including humans, that interact with each other in a given area with abiotic components of that area, the terrestrial or the aquatic, with the itong animals na ito with the abiotic components yan nandyan. So we call that ecosystem level. Okay, once again, populations of plants and animals, of course including humans, that interact with each other in a given area with the abiotic components of that area. Okay, with these animals, different kinds of animals, of course, with the air, with this, the wind. So kagaya natin sa sinasabi sa abiotic. So they interact with each other. So that's the fourth level of organization when we talk about ecology. Then the fifth level of organization in ecology is the biosphere. Biosphere is the portion of the earth that supports life. Portion of the earth that supports life. Bio, which means life, in the sphere. Kaya nga, the portion of the earth that supports life. That's the fifth level of ecology. Now, a short exercise. Kung makita ninyo yung itong hayop na ito, what level of organization? Alam niyo yun. So, yan ay tinatawag organism. Kasi nag-iisa lang. Sabi natin kanina kung ano yung organism. Then, the biosphere naman, the life that's found in the air, on the land, in the fresh and the salt water. So, yung sabi natin kanina sa fifth level of organization in the ecology. So, the biosphere is the portion of the earth that supports a living thing. Sinabi na natin kanina. Now, what about this? What level of organization? Yan, may iba't ibang hayop. Ano ito? Yes. Ito ay tinatawag na level of community. Different species, di ba? Okay, so sinabi natin kanina kung ano yung biological community. What about this? What level of organization? What do you think? Yan. Nanganak siya, tawag dyan ay population. Okay? Then the next, sinabi na kanina, we have to unlock the term. The study and understanding of ecology is an integral part of the environmental science learning. The study of interrelationship between organisms and the group of organisms, which is called the science of ecology. The word ecology, sabi natin kanina, derives from the Greek word eikos, meaning house or environment or the habitat, habitation, the place where they live in. Then another logos, meaning study or discourse. Kaya nga sinabi natin kanina, once again, an ecology is the study of the house or the environment which we live. Okay, malinaw yan. Then, alam na din itong ecosystem, sabi natin kanina. So, in addition, this is defined as a group of plants and animals or living organisms living together, interacting with the physical environment in which they live. In ecosystems, organisms constantly adjust themselves to geologic or climatic changes to each other. So yan, kahit saan man mapunta ang itong member ng ecosystem, plants and animals, nakaka-adjust din yan. Okay? Napansin ninyo, doon banda sa may Kidapawan kasi ang climate nila medyo malamig, maraming mga plants na bubuhay. Dito banda sa atin, marami din, medyo malamig dito, bundok-bundok. What about in the other places? But they can adapt. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi natin sa ecosystem. So, there are several, what do you call this one, related fields. And can be classified the umbrella of the so-called environmental science. So, you know very well already about this. The first, ecology, alam niyo yan. The biology, alam, dadaanan niyo, may subject kayo noon. The study of life. Bio means life. Logos, alam na, study of. Then, chemistry. It talks about matter. Naalala nyo? Mga substances. Then, we have the zoology. Zoo, meaning animals, study of animals. Then, of course, mineralogy. Then, oceanography, it talks about the sea or the ocean. Then, geology, meaning study of the earth. So, now, some points to consider. Take note on this. So, we have the ecosystem integrity. So, the ecosystem integrity provides a strong base for understanding the fundamental causes of the environmental degradation and population and linkages of human health. It provides the strong justification needed to protect the environment and the public health. So, ecosystem, the integrity of which provides a strong base of understanding of the fundamental causes of degradation. So, yun yung titingnan din natin as officers. We are the protector not only sa mga tao but as well as to our environment. Kagaya nito, we have to understand the fundamental causes of environmental degradation, population, the linkages to the human health. So that's ecosystem integrity. That's one thing to ponder, one thing to consider. Then we have ecological balance. From the word ecological balance, this is the theory stipulating the natural conditions including numbers of various animals and plants remain stable on their own through variations over time. Kaya nga, ecological balance, kung ano may naninirahan doon, plants and animals and species, dapat balance yan. Kaya nga, pag may mawawala dyan, magka-problema ang ating environment. Kaya nga, ngayon, marami tayong endangered species, di ba? Maraming mga causes dyan. Kaya nga, hindi na balance yung ating ecology. So, yun yung titingnan natin. Kaya nga, that's the point there. The ecological balance. We have ecological stress. From the word stress, alam natin yan. Is the disturbance in the ecological balance or ecosystem equilibrium. The disturbance can be physical, chemical, biological. Okay? Physical, ang example, mga kaingin, pinuputol. Chemical, mga pesticides, insecticides. Biological, of course. Alam niyo yan, ang sample dyan. It can be a chronic or episodic and can occur when foreign substances or agents are introduced in concentrations large enough to affect some components of the ecosystem, thereby causing ecological change. Kaya nga, ang ecology din pala na-stress din because of this disturbance. Okay? Nakagagawan din ng tao, na hindi lang tao, ng ibang animals, of course. Pero usually dito, tao talaga yan. Physical, chemical, as well as biological. So, there's a speech from a 10-year-old. So, let's ponder on this. Let's learn from this sinabi ng 10-year-old sa kanyang talumpati. What would happen to the world's climate if we don't do anything about the greenhouse gases? I think you know the greenhouse gases. The methane, the carbon dioxide, the oxygen, the carbon monoxide. Okay? So, imagine this. The year is 2060. All of us who are students here are now old age. We have children and grandchildren for our own. We would like to take our kids and small children to the beach as our parents took us. We would like to push them on a swing in the sunlight, teach them to ride a bike, let them join a little athletics. But we could not do these things as the ozone layer has been depleted and that the sun burns the skin from our bodies within minutes of going outside. Clean water is in such short supply that all citizens are limited to a liter a day each. So we do not have the place of going any physical activity without risking dehydration. The air is so polluted that we are only able to breathe oxygen that is pumped into our homes or carry heavy tanks with us when we go out, which are so expensive that only the wealthy can afford them. At any rate, it is too dangerous to go out. Extreme temperatures and rapid fluctuations in the temperature put your life at risk all the time. Floods, wildfires, hurricanes, cyclones are commonplace now and can occur without warning. Does it sound like science fiction to you? So what do you think? Well, it could be science, but if we don't do something to reduce the man-made causes of climate change, hope that we don't destroy our Mother Nature's valuable gifts. So let's protect, preserve, and save the environment. So that's a challenge to all of us. Itong talumpati ng isang 10-year-old. Kaya sinabi na, naalaala natin noon, dinadala tayo ng ating mga parents, okay pa. Pero ngayon, we already experienced that one. Especially the climate change. Ngayon, di ba? Baha dito, baha doon. Bagyo dito, bagyo doon. Init dito, init doon. Hindi na maintindihan din ng environment. Bakit? Sa kagagawan ng tao. Kaya nga, panawagan para sa ating lahat. Let's protect and preserve and save the environment. That's why this course, sana bigyan natin ng halaga. We can make a difference. We can do something in our own little way, especially you as police officers, as our leader, as protector not only to the human being but also to the other creatures, the plants and animals. Okay? Then, in mentoring and implementation in the environmental concepts and issues towards sustainable living. So according of one of the author, si Forster, in 1993, stated that an environmental leader should strive to instill strong philosophical belief that about environmental issues coupled with scientific knowledge that will make up the foundation which will help them deal with issues of the local, national, and global scene. So ito yung panawagan din sa ating lahat. Marami na tayong batas, marami na tayong especially the proper waste management. May mga Republic Act na yan. So tayo na, kailangan environmental leader should strive to instill a strong philosophical belief. Okay? To have a scientific knowledge that will make us the foundation which will help them deal with the issues. Okay? Especially itong climate change. So that's according to Forster in 1993. Then we have another term, environmental education. Of course, na ito nang ginagawa natin. We are reminded once again. Kaya we are educated, in-educate din tayo once again. Especially in this course, Ecology and Environmental Protection. Allows everyone to work toward a better quality of life. It is a process of increasing knowledge and awareness of relationship between men and their environment. It creates a set of values and a feeling of concern of the environment, enabling to acquire environmental friendly behaviors and skills in resolving environmental problems, according to Srivastava in his research in 2008. So yan ang kailangan natin. A process of knowledge and awareness of the relationship, our relationship to our environment. So kaya nga, ito we are reminded once again in this course. Okay? Next, environmental leadership development is the paramount importance of reducing an alarming rate of the environmental deterioration in the world, according to Akiyama, Hanak, and Mino, 3 authors in 2013. There are many leadership theories, but environmental leadership accepts none. So, yun yung problema natin. Kagaya nga sa atin, dami-dami na nating alam kung paano gawin. Naalaala pa ninyo, mga officer naman kayo, na may programa ang PNP na tree planting. Alam na alam niyo yun. Picture-picture pa kayo, naalala ninyo. For documentation. Tanong, saan na ang mga tinanim nyo ngayon? May nabubuhay ba? That's the point there. Kaya nga, we know a lot of theories. But, sabi nga, environmental leadership accepts none. Okay? Yun ang malaking problema. Kaya nga, hamon sa ating lahat. Not only you as well as me, as one of the peace educators in the world, to protect, to preserve, and to save our environment. Sana naintindihan natin. At ang pinakakailangan daw, itong tinatawag na transformational leadership ang kailangan. Okay? Now, we have to do really something in order to save our earth. This is a popular studies of environmental leaders and theories to help in understanding the behaviors of the environmental leaders. In collective leadership, leaders respond to time and place in a situation of diminishing natural resources and growing environmental degradation. So yon, may ginawa na, natatransform na itong uri ng leadership na ito. Okay? Ang problema nga, minsan, ningaskugon din tayo. Ningaskugon din tayo. Kaya nga, nagkaletse-letse tayo tuloy ngayon in our, especially in our environment. Sabi nga ng aking commander, Bok, sabi niya, dapat we have to do something. Sabi ng mga isa, ngayon, naranasan na natin ngayong baha, kahit saan. Kailangan magtulong-tulungan tayo na magtanim. Pero not only tree planting, but tree growing. Tree growing. Kasi tree planting, gas-gas na. Tree growing, dapat alagaan mo ang tinanim mo para siguradong mabubuhayan. Okay? Kaya nga, from tree planting, tree growing, that's an example of transformational leader na pinalaki mo, na buhay talaga yung tinanim mo. Okay? Yung tinanim ninyo noon, sabi ko, may nabubuhay ba? So, yon ang malaking katanungan ngayon, kung may nabubuhay sa mga tinanim ninyo. Okay? So, the question now, am I a transformational leader? So, tayo lang nakakasagot dyan. Tayo lang nakakaalam din dyan. Next is, we have also environmental leader is seen as an individual who possesses the best qualities of leadership that includes commitment, values, decision-making skills, vision, communication, making meaning for followers through shared leadership. From transformational leadership, kailangan itong environmental leader na mayroon itong qualities, commitment, values, decision-making skills, the vision, communication, and making meaning for followers through shared leadership. So, kayo, mga veteran kayo, mga officers, may mga baguhan dyan, mga kabaro ninyo, what will happen there, dapat turuan sila na magiging environmental leader din. At itong qualities na binabanggit natin, commitment, the values, decision making, makamtan din nila. Okay? So yun yung isa sa malaking maitulong natin in saving our environment. Kasi sirang-sira na ang ating environment ngayon. Then, we have the so-called, sumobra siya, the planetary changes that affects human health. Climate change is perhaps the best recognized. Climate change threatens human health through many pathways, as geographically depicted by the Lancet Commission on Health and the Climate Change. That's according to Watts, Adger, Agnolecki, etc. in their study on 2015. So ito yung bantayan natin ngayon. All over the world, meron ng mga komisyon para matugunan itong pagbabago ng ating temperatura, itong climate change. Or the other term climate change is the global warming. Okay? Then consider the effects of the heat. Excessive heat causes a well-known cascade of medical consequences, from the relatively mild, self-limited heat rash and heat cramps, to more severe heat exhaustion and potentially fatal heat stroke. So ngayon, dahil sa init, ito na yun, marami nang namamatay, especially the heat stroke. So that's really the problem now of our environment. Bakit? Dahil sa kagagawan natin na mga tao. Next, a second planetary change is the widespread dissemination of synthetic chemicals through the world's ecosystem. The plastic, a family of polymers, or ethylene, propylene, styrene, the vinyl chloride, and other simple molecules are emblematic. So ito nang nagka-problema, mga synthetic chemicals na disseminated worldwide yan. Kaya nga, paano natin ito matugunan ng pansin para hindi masisira ang ating environment? May mga paraan na rin ginagawa. Ang problema kasi, kung napapansin nyo, yung mga first world countries, doon tayo nagka-problema. Sila yung sumisira talaga sa ating environment. Tayo sa Pilipinas, siguro 0.00 something. Pero that 0.00 something, pangdagdag tayo, so mas lalong nasisira ang ating inang kalikasan. But once again, we can do something and we can make a difference. Okay? Sabi nga, ang dami nating alam, pero minsan hindi natin ina-apply, hindi natin tinatanggap yung mga theories and knowledge sa sinabi natin kanina. Then, we have also the third example of the global environmental change that affects human health is land use change. The pressures of the growing human population and its resource demands have led a dramatic expropriation of the land and water globally. So tingnan nyo, affects human health is land use change. So yun nagka-problema din. Pressures of growing human population, dumadami na ang tao. Pag dadami ang tao, dadaming dumi, dadaming mga basura. Kaya nga, alam natin yung mga pollution, human pollution. Ano-ano yon? Sa lupa, sa hangin, air pollution, noise pollution, that's one thing. As well as air pollution, land pollution, and the rest. So yon ang malaking problema sa ating environment ngayon. But once again, sabi ko, we can do something. Then another example of global environmental change is biodiversity loss. So alam natin ito, the biodiversity loss. While this has numerous potential impacts on human health, according to Bernstein in 2014. Two examples is pollinators loss and fisheries depletion. Ano itong pollinator? Sa mga What do you think? Plants. Diba? Then, sa ating mga isda din, nagka-problema din. Kaya nga, itong nawawala biodiversity, nawawala na yun sila, namamatay na din sila. Okay. Then, the pollination by insects is an important form of reproduction for more. Diba? Naalala yung pollination, halimbawa yung example noon, naalala nyo sa mais, dala-dala ng mga insekto, ililipat doon para mas mag-grow, mag-reproduce sila. So, ang daming may example dito when we were still in our college. Then, fisheries depletion has emerged as a global problem din. With about 90% of fisheries now at or beyond maximum sustainable levels of exploitation, climate change will intensify this problem in coming decades. For many populations, fish is leading dietary source of protein, micronutrients, pero ang problema ngayon, nawawala na, namamatay na ating mga isda. When I was still young, punta kami doon sa sapa, manghuli ng dalag, katipa, etc. sa amo nga basakan. And I think kayo na-experience nyo yan. Pero ngayon, wala ka nang makikita mga isda. Bakit? Namamatay na sila. Because of chemicals. Okay? Magpingwit-pingwit, naalala nyo yun? Magpingwit pa. Ngayon, saan ka mamingwit? Wala na mga isda. Kaya nga, fisheries depletion. And that's really the problem. Kaya the loss of biodiversity or biodiversity loss. Nawawala na sila. Not only the isda, but the other species. So, take note of these ways of thinking and knowing. First, we need to learn to acknowledge and live within our limits. Learn to acknowledge and live within limits. We have all lived our lives during the last half of our 20th century and the first part of the 21st century, a time of plenty, unprecedented in human history. So, once again, learn and live within limits. Kaya nga, wag pasubrahan. Second, in the ways of thinking and knowing, need system thinking. So, we need systems thinking. Every serious thinker about sustainability or climate change or human affairs in general knows that reductionist linear thinking misses the mark. Kaya nga kailangan natin itong we need systems thinking. Mag-isip tayo kung paano matulungan, paano masustain, at paano ma-repair natin ang ating environment para matulungan natin itong mawala itong climate change. Aside from magtanim tayo ng kahoy. Then another thing, we need a sense of urgency. Now na. Urgent. Yun yung dapat. We need a sense of urgency. Our house is on fire. Sobrang init na. Okay? We need to act accordingly. Our scientific discourse is typically sober and dispassionate. But passion in this setting is no sin. Rather, it is a necessity. So, we have to do something. Help our environment. Save our environment. Protect our environment. Kaya nga, we can make a difference. Itong palagi kong sinasabi. Yung sa inyo, nanigarilyo sa inyo, malaking sira yan sa ating environment. Natamaan man kayo, wag na kayo magalit. Okay? Hindi lang health mo sinisira, pati na ang kalikasan. Ang mga filter ng sigarilyo saan ta natapon kahit saan. That's the problem there. Okay? So, if we need a sense of urgency, kung pwedeng matigilan para matulungan mo sarili mo, matulungan mo rin ang mundo, itigil na. Be an example. Sir, talagang ano naman talaga iso, na-addict naman ako, sir. Pero kailangan yan political will lang. Kasi yung iba, for example, yung iba matauhan na lang sila kapag na-hospital na. Okay? The point there, hindi na talaga ako manigarilyo, hindi na ako ganito, hindi na ako magbiso, ganito, ganyan, para makatulong ko sa environment. Pero yes, may time pa. Pero wag nang paabutin nyo na nandoon na sabihan na kanihinto na. Okay? So, we need a sense of urgency. Okay. That's one way of thinking and knowing. Then the next is we need intellectual humility. Especially we need daw intellectual humility. Marami mang bright, but itong humility. Modern science and technology animated by the positivism for the last few centuries, we have delivered untold benefits to humankind. But they have also brought wicked problems and profound dilemmas. Science and technology do not offer all the answers. Ayun. Kala natin, ang dami-dami ng mga theory, sabi natin kanina. But the problem, no one accepts that theory. Pero, sabi natin, can we go back kung ano yung makaluma? Yes, baka makatulong yung makaluma. Kaya nga ito yung tinatawag intellectual humility. Okay? Hindi lang puro ka bright talaga. Puro kasi intellectual humility. Magpababa ka rin. Kahit na ito mga science technology, nandyan na. But sinasabi nga, do not offers all the answer. Baka in our own little way, mayroon tayong magagawa. Mayroon tayong magagawa. Kaya yung iba, balikan itong paninigarilyo. Ay dapat sir, walang mag-produce. Walang mga kumpanya sigarilyo para walang magagawa. Pag sure, oy, bakit sirain pa yung mga nag-produce? Ikaw mismo, as human as you are. Okay? Be humble, tanggapin mo na ikaw may kagagawan din. May mali ka. Okay? Kasi pag wala na magbenta ng sigarilyo, wala na ning mga producer ng sigarilyo. That's simple. Dahil sinasabi, ay haram-haram yan, haram-haram. Sa imong mata, haram sa imong mata. Kuha natin, kung may masubra pa sa haram, ikaw yun. Di ba? Medyo masakit. That's a real talk. Okay? Kasi alam ko, maraming mga men in uniform na ninigarilyo. Whether we like it or not. Ang dami ng alam. Kaya nga sa sigarilyo ngayon, di ba, sinasabi na cigarette smoking is dangerous to your health. Then may mga drawing na cancer dito, cancer doon, pero was effect. Tama or mali? Was effect, di ba? But anyways, huwag kayong magalit sa akin. This is the reality. Kaya nga intellectual humility is very, very important. That's one way of thinking and knowing. Okay? Next, we have the idea of sustainable development. Wealth and well-being. When we talk about well-being, this refers to not only the well-being of those who are present today, but also the well-being of the people in the future. The term indicates the aggregate measure of the flow of personal well-being across time and generation. Kaya nga, idea of sustainable development. Not only for today, but as well as the future. Okay? Kaya nga, when we talk about sustainable development, meeting the needs of the present generation, okay, and not compromising the needs of the future generation. Kaya nga, we have to do something now. Para kung ano yung nararanasan natin maganda sa ating environment ngayon, ganun din mararanasan o mas lalo pa. Pero ngayon, because the issue on the climate change, kung if we'll not do something in the future, anong mangyayari? Siguro wala nang malalanghap ang ating mga kaapu-apuhan na magandang simoy ng hangin. Kaya sabi kanina, ala yung 10-year-old yung talumpati niya, mahal na ang hangin. Okay? Ang mga oxygen, libo-libo na yan. Okay? That's really the problem. Okay? Then, another the idea of sustainable development, accounting price and social environment. An asset's accounting price is the social worth of the stream of goods and services a society is able to obtain from marginal unit of it. A mangrove forest is a habitat for fish population. It is also a concurrent source of the timber for inhabitants, and it protects people from storm and tsunamis. The forest, according counting price, measures its worth to society. So ito counting prices and the social environment. Ito yung magano. It is also a forest mangrove is a habitat for fish and population. It is also a recurrent source of the timber for inhabitants. It protects people from the storm and tsunamis. Kaya nga, when I went to Tawi-Tawi, may na-preserve yung isa doon mga mangroves nila. Kasi malaking tulong yan. During din yung St. Bernard in Leyte, naalala nyo yung grabing baha nila na may tsunami, yung maraming mangroves na isang isla doon, na-save yung mga tao. So yun yung dapat tingnan natin. The idea of sustainability, particularly accounting prices and the social environment. The next is Sustainable Development Goals. At alam na alam siguro niyo ito. So the practical significance of the equivalence between the intergenerational well-being and inclusive wealth was lost in the framers of the Sustainable Development Goal, which were adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in September 2015. Then the UN has made a commitment to attain the goals by 2020. Then the SDG are noble goals, they are to be lauded. So, nag-start itong Sustainable Development Goals. I think there are 17, 2015. But before that, we have the Millennium Development Goals. Then, tinawag nilang Sustainable Development Goals. Then, the attainment of this goal, ang target is 2030. So, ano-ano yung Sustainable Development Goals? Mamaya, malalaman ninyo yan. Okay? So, there are 5 technologies in ecology. Take note, the carbon capture and storage. Carbon capture and storage, or the CCS, is an emerging technology that separates the carbon dioxide, a gas with a presence of the Earth's atmosphere that is warming our planet from other gases that industrial processes generate. So, ito na yung technology tinatawag na carbon capture storage. So that's the first sustainable technology in ecology. So ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo na there are 17 sustainable development goals and the target is 2030 na sana ma-attain ito. Ngayon is 2024, so 6 years na lang. So the goal na dapat ito na. Wala nang pobre. I don't know, baka in our dream until today. No hunger. That's the second goal. 2030, marami pa ring gutom. In the barn, marami pa ring gutom. Not only in the barn, but in Africa and other countries, the poor countries. Okay. Good health. 2030, problema, pa rin siguro, no? Quality education. That's another sustainable development goal. Kaya nga, part of it tayo, nag-aaral din kayo. Okay? Then, gender equality. Kaya nga tayo, di ba? Because of this goal, mayroon ng 0.5% in every institution in the government. Di ba? Mayroon tayong seminar palagi. Kayo, kami, especially yung GAD, Gender and Development, because of this. Then, clean water and sanitation. Ang iba nga, walang tubig. Dito sa Cotabato, kami, walang tubig. Kung may tubig man, grabing dumi. That's really the problem. Clean energy, 2030. Meron kaya? Then, good jobs and economic growth. Innovation and infrastructure. Ay, sa bar, may makikita ba? Ang bill ni Duterte, of course, mga bundok ngayon, mga farm to market road, meron na. Sana pinakita sana ito sa farm para maganda. Pero ngayon, puro ayuda pa man, no? At saka mga solar makikita natin. Pero itong infrastructure, umaasa pa rin tayo. Okay? Reduce inequalities. Makamtan kayo ito? Then sustainable cities and communities. Then responsible consumption. Pero responsible consumption, pero ngayon meron mang only rice. Kaya ngayong iba, dapat wala ng only rice. Kasi yung iba hindi responsable. Okay? Then protect the planet. Ito yung pinag-aralan natin ngayon. Protect our environment. Life below the water, yan, protektahan din yan. Then life on the land, protektahan din yan. The biodiversity, sabi yan, peace and justice. Then partnership for the goals. So sino mga partner? Kaya the sustainable development, isa dyan tayo, partner tayo ng Pilipinas. So these are the sustainable development goals na sana ma-attain by 2030. Okay, it started 2050. Then matatapos 2030. And I think may ginagawa naman. And we can also do something, yung sinasabi ko kanina. Then another, sabi natin kanina, itong naalala nyo? The technologies of ecology. The second is the so-called solar glass. What about the solar glass? Solar glass is another emerging technology that may greatly improve global energy sustainability. It is a material used for making windows and other glass surfaces that capture the energy of the sun and convert into electricity. Marami na ito ngayon. Kahit saan ka, may mga solar na. Okay? Captures the sun and convert into electricity. So, malaking tulong talaga yun sa ating environment. Okay? Then, the third, technology of ecology, the smart grids. Mga kurente naman ito. The grid, the current power production infrastructure. It is mainly centralized and very responsive to usage fluctuation. It requires a massive production of energy to work dependably, which often causes overproduction of energy waste. The grid also relies heavily on energy source that emit population. So ito yung isang technology sa ecology na ginagamit na rin. Okay, the power production infrastructure. Then the next is the environmental sensor. At alam natin din ito. Network sensors monitor the quality of air and water, keep track of acidification, identify sources of population, and capture real-time data on other environmental factors that compromise health of our planet. May mga sensor na? Okay. So that's the makakatulong na technology sa ecology. Ito, alam na rin natin ito, the LED lighting. Energy efficient LED lighting technology is already replacing traditional bulbs in many homes and public spaces. It consumes much less power per unit of light emitted compared to iridescent bulbs, cutting down greenhouse emission from power plants. Also, LEDs do not contain any hazardous materials and their carbon emissions are low. Kaya nga tayo, pag sa bahay ninyo, makaluma pa rin, palitan na ninyo para makatulong tayo sa ating environment, especially sa init. Then, we have the so-called human ecological adaptation. So, human ecology is an interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary study of relationship between humans and their natural, social, and built environments. In order to survive, all societies have to adapt the opportunities and constraints that their environment presents for them given their current culture. So yun, tandaan din natin ito. Interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary study of relationship. Our relationship to other, to the natural and social and build the environment. Kaya nga human. Kaya nga tayo talagang pinakamalaking magagawa. And why? Of course, tao tayo. We are given by God the intellect and the will. Kaya nga, we have to be the steward of the plants and animals. But what happened? Parang baliktad yata. Sinisira natin, nawawala ating pagka-stewards sa ating environment. So yun yung malaking hamon. Then we have human adaptation. The term adaptation involves both biological and behavioral mechanism. Human behavioral ability to modify the environment is the major factors that has allowed us to occupy the diverse ecosystem that we do. So yan, human adaptation. Okay? Then, what about this adaptation? Like other animal survival and the success depend upon the ability of humans to tolerate and move over the new conditions and change. Such ability of humans to tolerate and tide over new conditions and to adjust the shifting conditions of the environment is called adaptation. Okay? Adjust to the shifting condition of the environment is adaptation. Then we have the so-called biological adaptation. Human beings are different from other species, but the fact that they are spread over most part of the land surface, that is from equatorial to polar regions, and they have also learned to tolerate extreme conditions such as high pressures after deep sea and zero gravity of the space. So biological adaptation. Then to continue of this biological adaptation, surprisingly human are not the ideal species to study in order to understand the range of biological adaptation. Despite their obvious success in dominant species of the earth, this is attributed to their higher intellectual capacity, which enables them to adjust their behavior over the environmental conditions. Thus, they tend to exhibit more cultural adjustment than biological adaptation. So, yun, sabi natin, tao talaga ang may problema. Hindi yung ibang species, but tao, because we are dominant. Then we have cultural adaptation. A few organisms, including humans, also use a strategy that minimizes the need for adaptation. The alternate for adaptation is the creation of microenvironment in which the environmental stress itself is minimized or eliminated. Creating the microenvironment is usually achieved by changing a microenvironment by changing the natural behavior of the organization, and also referred to a cultural adaptation. So, yun yung tinatawag nating cultural adaptation. Now, I'd like to share also with you the 4 laws of ecology. This is according to one of the ecologists and physicists by Barry Commoner. He was the one to introduce these laws of ecology na maganda din nating malaman. So what are these laws of ecology? The first one is everything is connected to everything else. Everything is connected to everything else. Kaya sabi ni Joe Ayala, no, may awit, ang lahat ng bagay ay magkaugnay, magkaugnay ang lahat ng bagay ay magkaugnay. So yan, everything is connected to everything else. Take note on that first law of ecology. Human and other species are connected, dependent on a number of other species. Lahat. We are interrelated. We are interconnected with each other. Okay, that's the first law. So once again, everything is connected to everything else. Then the second, everything must go somewhere. So what about this law of ecology? Everything must go somewhere. What does it mean? If everything must go somewhere. No matter what you do, and no matter what you use, it has to go somewhere. For example, take note, when you burn wood, it does not disappear. It turns into smoke, which rises into the air, and ash, which falls down to the earth. So malinaw ang example. Everything must go everywhere or somewhere. Yun sa smoke yun. What about your basura? Pagtapon mo ng basura, pagbaha, damay-damay na lahat. Okay? So that's everything, take note, must go somewhere. Third, law of ecology. Nature knows best. Nature knows best. That's according to Commoner. Nature knows best. Alam itong nature, di ba? Sabi natin, inang kalikasan. Di ba? Mother knows best. Napansin ninyo? Kapag sinira ang kalikasan, parang gumaganti din sila, no? Tingnan yung baha ngayon. Balabagan, Boldon, lahat-lahat doon, Maguindanao Sur, Maguindanao Norte. Ano nangyari? Wala na mga kahoy. Parang sabi, ay gumaganti. Bakit baha? Because Mother knows best. Ang inang kalikasan knows best. Magsabi niya, is it the will of God? No, it's not the will of God. Kagagawan ng tao. Kagagawan ng tao. Sabi natin, malaki. We are supposed to be the steward of other creatures, but anong ginagawa natin? Kaya nga, yung minandar ba yun? Yung gumuho yun, maraming natabunan ng mga tao dito sa may kusyong. What happened? Wala na mga kahoy. Kaya nga, kaya nga ngayon, bago lang kahit saan, may mga nag-erode na lupa, mga landslide. May namatay na, of course. Because nature knows best. Tandaan ninyo yan. Kaya nga sinasabi, like it says, nature knows best. As much as you think it might help a place by repainting it, you are submitting the fumes into the air and into your lungs. Ayun. The last one, law of ecology, there is no such thing as free lunch. Siguro marinig natin to palagi, free lunch. But sinasabi ni Commoner, ni Barry Commoner, there is no such thing as free lunch. Kahit na yung iba, mga pulyas, gusto lang free palagi, but in the environment, there is no such thing as free lunch. Kung nagputol ka ng kahoy, dapat magtanim ka rin ng kahoy. Because there is no such thing as free lunch. I think malinaw yan. Kaya nga, everything you do must have a reason behind it. This law basically means you have to do something in order to get something in return, because there is no such thing as free lunch. Take note. Then now, the question, how can we help in our environment? So, may mga sinabi natin kanina, ito bilang karagdag. There are ways to help our environment from further degradation or exploitation. Mga simpleng bagay, pero sabi nga, we know a lot of theories, but no one accepts the theory. In the previous slide, kung naalala nyo. First, way na magawa natin, na matulungan, respect other creatures. That's the number one. As human beings, we should also respect other creatures because, like us, they have also their dignity. Ecological dignity, naalala nyo? Okay. Humans do not have full ownership of the things around them. Humans are simply caretaker of his environment. God created things around him, most especially the world in which he dwells, not for him to abuse, manipulate, or exploit, but to use it in a responsible way. Man in this sense, who is empowered by reason, should not dominate other species but care for them on God's behalf. So you have to care for them on God's behalf. Alam ba ninyo na may mga tao na kahit na lamok hindi pinapatay? And why they have also their dignity. May kadengge man yan. That's the point there, kaya patayin. Bili ka ng pamatay lamok. But ulitin ko, may mga grupo din, they respect that other creatures. Second, na maitulong natin, plant trees, go green. Sabi ko na, ginawa na ninyo ito, pero saan na ngayon ang tree? That's the point. Picture-picture lang, nandoon ba yung documentation? Because the trees provide us food, prevent flood, provide oxygen, the sanctuary of life for other animals. Alam na alam natin yun. Okay? Theoretically, alam natin yun. Pero anong ginagawa natin? That's something to ponder. Okay? So, once again, plant trees. Not only tree planting, but tree growing. Kasi malaking naidudulot ng kahoy. Next, conserve water and energy. We should conserve water and energy because they are consumable and perishable. Sinabi natin yan. Then use recycled materials. At alam mo, marami tayong seminar, alam ko. Pero ginagawa ba natin? That's the point there. Recycling material help us save energy. Factories save lots of money and energy by using recycled bottles than making new ones. Pero ngayon, ginagawa, di ba? Dapat wala ng plastic. Yung mga supot na nalalanta, hindi yung mga plastic. Pero pag may plastic man, we can recycle that one. Kasi malaking tulong yan sa ating environment. Next, proper waste disposal. And I think you have a lot of seminar on this, the proper waste management seminar. Okay? Pero anong ginagawa natin? Kahit saan magtapon, kahit na candy wrapper, kain candy, tapon dito, tapon doon. Okay? Then proper waste disposal under solid waste management can be the great help for our environment. Segregation of biodegradable, non-biodegradable recyclable materials. Sa mga paaral, mayroon man biodegrade, nabubulok, hindi nabubulok, nare-recycle. Pero sa mga barangay, may mga program din, no? Pero pagdating doon sa basurahan, inisa lang. Wala, pulos pa rin. That's the point there. Okay? Now, you're familiar with this. The Clay Go. Clean as you go. This is the program. This is a project everywhere. Okay? Kaya nga, let us promote this practice of cleaning our own environment, our canals, our communities, clean and free drainages with clogs and dispose garbage responsibly. So, Clay Go. So, panawagan. Let us take care of our environment today for the future of our children. Sabi nga ni Ward, we have forgotten how to be a good guest, how we walk lightly on the earth, as each other creatures do. Then sabi ni Einstein, we shall require substantially new manner of thinking if mankind is to survive. It is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend the world in which we all live. So, yun yung hamon sa atin. So, a beautiful environment starts with you. And you can make a difference. We can make a difference. So, once again, a beautiful environment starts within you. And me, of course. So, daghang salamat, my dear sirs and moms. Dalaygon ang Diyos. This is your friend, Brother Joars Alferez. So, may mga gagawin kayo, doon na lang sa ating GC ang gagawin natin. Then another slide isasend ko din sa ating GC for further consumption, especially in taking care of our environment. So God bless everyone. Dalaygon ang Diyos.